The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We're going to take a look at the DAX today like we usually do. We're going to look at the hourly chart here. As you can see, we've been watching a beautiful head and shoulders pattern form here, and it's perfectly symmetrical, folks. 1 second, please. From the left shoulder to the right shoulder is equal in time, and the right shoulder is lower than the left shoulder. It also came in at a perfect 61% retracement, which is pretty much what we'd like to see. And as you can see, down about another 80 points in the DAX, we're going to be hitting that 123.83 level, which is the 61% retracement. And if we close below that, folks, that is not going to be a very good sign, in my opinion. What happened yesterday, I want to go to the market first, and then we'll switch over to the currencies because we've got game over there, boys and girls. Let's take a look here at the NASDAQ because that's the one we've been watching. That's been the leader of the pack. You'll notice that we had a potential for a pattern to form up there, double ABCD pattern at 75.12. We got as high as 75.05 and a half. We didn't quite make it, and now it started to move to the downside quite a bit. And I just wanted to update you as to what we might be looking at today. If we look at that same chart and just update it from what happened last night, and there's been a pretty heavy move down last night, you'll notice that we made that 1.27 expansion just about an hour ago at that 74.25 level. Breaking below that sets up 7,400. That's the 1.618 at 74.05. And below that, folks, it's going to be pretty it could be pretty nasty coming in here on Monday. Part of what we're looking at here is something we've been talking about since, well, several weeks ago, but we're going to go into it right now. Here's what we were watching yesterday, if you'll remember. We were watching, this is as we were talking on the show yesterday, and I marked these up because I assumed this might happen. Of course, assumptions, we know what that means. But let's take a quick look here. You'll look at the euro here on this 15-minute chart. There's where we were yesterday morning. And as you'll notice here, we got down to that 115. We said that was going to be the last support for the euro. And what we want to do is to just walk through what had happened, because I happened to be watching this all night with the folks from 24/7 at TFNN because we were watching it very, very closely. You'll notice that once we broke through that last support there at 115.50, it set up the next target of 115 even. And that was the second level that we were looking at. And since we were watching it, all night long, we wanted to see what really happened. And if we kept following it, you're gonna see how this thing evolved, because it was really interesting how it started, to really come apart. And it was they kept saying that it was related to the lira. And I saw the Turkish lira, folks, with the number of people trading the Turkish lira versus the number of people trading the U.S. dollar. You can write on the head of a pen in boldface type. So that's not what I believe what happened. As you'll notice here that the ABC structure on this measured down to just about the 114 level. But as we followed it a little more closely, and you'll see what happened, because it's very interesting and this is held so far, and it's very, thank you, Marshall. I appreciate the nice words. I'll send you that $20 as quickly as possible. Anyway, let's take a quick look here. You'll notice now, if we look at this over the last 6 weeks, what we really did is we made a 1.618 expansion from the low on July the 20th. That came in exactly at that 114.36 level. We hit that twice. And so far, that's held. It really has. We hit it at 114.36, 114.37. Then we rallied all the way up to 40 pips, which is really nothing, because if we go below this 114.20 today, and that's certainly possible, excuse me, please. I've got your address. P.O. Box 555, somewhere, USA. Zip code 55555. All right, let's take a look. If that euro gets below that, that is going to be really nasty. Now, let's look why that's happening, because this is what we've been talking about here on the show here for quite some time, and that is the relationship that we're looking at with the U.S. dollar, because here's where we are. Let's take a quick look at it. This was yesterday when we were looking at this. You'll notice that today, and I haven't posted this as of yet because I've been up been up all night, but we are now trading above 9,600. We've broken above that parallel channel to the upside. The euro breaking below 114, folks, is going to set this thing in motion for something really, really big, in my opinion. Maybe it stops right here. Maybe it doesn't. But all I know is if we look at that euro on a really long-term basis, here's what you could be looking at. And this is not a very pretty picture for being long the euro. Now, that would bring, just at the 1.27 expansion, would take you to the 113 level. That's another 120 pips from where we are right now. But you could also go down to the 1.618 level at the 109.30. So this is going to be very interesting where we are as we come in here, because this U.S. dollar is right up against, just jumped above that channel. Now, sometimes what will happen is it'll jump above that channel, and because of the emotionalism of the moment, it'll pull back, go back below it, and it would be a trap. But you don't want to put any money on that one, because you could be looking at something really, really dramatic. Because if we start accelerating below 114 in the euro, that's going to be a very, very negative opinion situation in my opinion. However, there is something unusual happening with this, and that is, as this is happening, we're seeing the gold market actually holding up, which is really quite a big surprise. I mean, it should have really collapsed, and it did not do that, which was relatively surprising. So we want to pay close attention to it. And of course, we got another break coming up here. I want to get this gold in here so we can watch it closely, because it did hold exactly where it was supposed to. And if I can just find the chart. Oh, I had it all ready to go, and then I lost it. Shut the front door and raise the rent. Let's just move on here and see if we can find it here. We'll find it here, hopefully. Doggone it. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to hold it until we get back to the next one, so we'll wait and see. This is frustrating when I get these things all ready to go. Here we go. Finally, the last one. This is what I was expecting as the euro was collapsing last night, is that we could get all the way down to the $1,200 level, which would be a 1.27 expansion in multiple ABCDs. But we did not, folks. All we did was go down and test that 78% level at the 1213.10. We took out the previous low by 50 cents, and then the market has only rallied 60 bucks or $6, but it's still held during all of that. So that could be really see what's really going on. Now, Ruby's asking a question about the hogs. Those hogs have made a 3 drive to a bottom down there in December. They're below the cost of production. They've had a tremendous rally off of here. And if you get any type of a pullback in December hogs, 382 or 61% retracement, I'd certainly take a look at that. We'll take a break here. 877-927-6648. We got Norm Winsky at the break today, folks, so don't fall asleep. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, folks, and the euro has now broken below the old lows here at 114.30. We get below that 114 level, it's going to be very, very interesting, especially on a Friday, folks. If we close very badly in the euro, this sets up a really big move down because of that weekly chart is so very, very bearish. There's no question about it. Now, I've posted a chart of the Swiss franc going back several years ago, back in 2015, when we had the biggest bank robbery ever perpetrated on the public, when the Swiss government decided that they were not going to back the euro. I think it was something like that anyway. It bankrupted a whole bunch of people. FXCM basically lost about 80% of the value of their stock. They never did recover. They had to be taken over by somebody else, and a few other dealers were hurt really, really badly. And what was really sad about it is the market only stayed there for a matter of a few seconds because it had a $25,000 move down and a $20,000 move up in a matter of a few minutes. And you know, that's not the way foreign exchange markets usually work, but that was. And then, you know, you don't even hear anything about it. I mean, that's just the sad part. That should have been really investigated, and it would have been something that should have been really, really important. We got a lot of things to cover before Norm comes on. I want to cover one thing really important here, and that is what we could be looking at here in some of these grains, because we've got a potential here for the crop report coming in, and we could be looking at something really interesting. I'm just going to bring this up for you to take a look at it for your own perusal. And anyway, you'll take a look. You'll see here that we have this is the November bean chart. We had that 3 drive to a bottom pattern. We rallied almost a full $1 a bushel. And now what we're doing is we're in the process. We're trading right around $9 a bushel right now. 27 cents lower brings you right at the 50% retracement of the whole move. That would be your first ABCD pattern in this. And you would be looking at a beautiful 50% retracement of the bottom. And folks, that would be almost a head and shoulders pattern, not quite as symmetrical as you'd like to see it, but very, very close. And we have the crop report today, so that's going to be interesting. I would be watching to be a buyer around 875 in those November beans. I know the dollar is under, It's being promoted all over the world today, but and then this could be at these trade wars, the dollar could be king, and this is what it's all about. It has nothing to do with the trade war. It's about the dollar strengthening. And I was watching it last night because I saw the euro once it broke 115. I happened to be trading with one of the folks here in the den, and online, of course. But what we were watching was the fact that the Turkish lira, it was trading at around 5.3, and it went from 5.3 to 6.3. I mean, just like on a vertical move, and then it had huge moves between 6.3 all the way down to 5.8. And these are large moves, folks, when you look on a percentage basis, and they're still up about 8% on the day. So this is really big what's happening. This is also what's happening to the Iranian rial. And that is also, that's under a great deal of pressure also versus the U.S. dollar. So these economies are getting hit really bad. Now, whether this is warfare, like some people talk about it, and frankly, I think it is, because if you listen to the words, I believe it was Thomas Jefferson that said, you can give my enemies all of his standing armies that he wants. All I want is control of his currency. Something to that effect. And that's pretty much right, because if you can control the currency, you got a pretty good handle of what's going on. We're seeing it in Venezuela. We've seen it in other places also. But big things are happening, folks. We got to watch this U.S. dollar, because it could be game on. And that means a euro. Long term, we could be looking at possibly even par in the euro, which is the really long-term objective in the euro that we've been watching for months and months and months. But this could be it. So we'll be watching it very, very closely. The 114 level is still a key level. So far, we've been down to 114.17. We're trading 114.23 right now. And someone just asked me the question, does this have any effect to the stock market? I'm sure it does, but I don't know what it is. I'm just looking at the charts. That's basically, all I'm watching. And of course, when we're watching, the dollar getting very, very strong, you have to ask yourself, what could be causing this? And if you look at what's happening here yesterday, we brought this to your attention, is the fact, Marshall, I'm bringing it up right now. This is the T-bond chart that we talked about yesterday. We noticed that we had a beautiful ABCD structure there in the 4-hour Treasury bond chart coming into the 144.08 level. And believe it or not, you'll never guess where we hit there last night. We hit there, and I'll bring up the chart so you can take a quick look at it. You'll notice that the high that we made last night was 144.08. So the boat ride right now is canceled for the short term. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, let's get back to a couple of these other markets that we need to chat about, because they're having some really big moves, and I think it's important. Let's take a look here at the British pound, because it's the same thing. We were watching this very, very closely again last night, because we'll take a look at it. You'll see the British pound, we were at the 61% retracement there at 128.70. And we knew that was not going to hold very long. It did for a little while, but I just wanted to walk through what was happening at that time, so you can see what was going on as far as the chart pattern itself. Now let's just take a quick look here, so you can see what this was doing. Now all I'm doing now is taking that weekly chart and blowing up the daily chart, so we can see the big ABCD structure that came in there at that 128.05 level, and that's where the buy was, 128.05. But folks, we were coming down here with the old falling knife syndrome, and we stayed there for actually an hour at that 128.05 level, and then shortly thereafter it went a little bit lower, and I was referring to this as a place where you certainly want to raise your stop to a level where you wouldn't have to risk almost anything at all, or to keep it nearly as break even as you possibly could. So that's what we're watching. Another one that is very interesting, of course, is this crude oil market. I just wanted to show you what happened last night, because we came down in the crude oil. We went down and we took out the lows of August the 8th, 2 days ago, by just a little bit, and then we've rallied back to the 167.20 level. Now, all we did yesterday was make that small little ABCD pattern, and then we broke, $1.50 to make a new low, and now we've turned back up. So this tells you there's really strong support at that 66.40 level. And that's $2 higher than what we were looking at for the longer term daily. But this is a 3 drive to a bottom pattern on that crude oil. So this could see some more rally coming in. Now, whether that has anything to do with the oil situation of supplies coming out of any Middle Eastern country, I'm not sure. All I know is that the market held really strongly at that 66.40 level. That's the one thing that we certainly can see as that's happened thus far. So we got a break coming up. We got Norm Winsky, call it by the minute. He'll be with us. So stay right with us here, 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I believe we have Norm. I call it to the minute Winsky on the line. Norm, are you there, my friend?
Yes, sir, Larry. Welcome to Florida.
I would like for you to take over the microphone and do the very best you can, as you always do. Go right ahead.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to ask the folks to hold your questions till the end because I got a record amount of charts and notes to get through here. Got a whole lot of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go back and review. I was on your show, Larry, on the 25th of July, just ahead of the lunar eclipse and Mercury retrograde. Go see what happened there. Mercury went retrograde the night of the 25th. Here's your, I indicated at that time, we want to watch corn, gold, OJ, soybeans, stocks, and wheat. Here's your corn. There's your, actually did a kind of a flip-flop whipsaw here. Made a little low on the 25th, made a little high on the 26th, and then had a little pullback for the lunar eclipse and been pretty narrow. And then I had a little bit of a rally, and then we are in this really narrow trading range. Hopefully that crop report is going to give us some volatility. Hopefully, I'd like to see it pull back, and by Monday this weekend, we have this solar eclipse, and that's usually a point of reversal for many of these commodities. And the corn, gold, and OJ should be no exception. They should be in under that umbrella. So there's your gold, as Larry has pointed out. The gold is poised here, possibly for a turn here. I'd like to see the gold stay, though, near its lows into the weekend, into the solar eclipse, and maybe just have a little bit of a pullback here toward its lows. So we'll be all set for maybe a rally a little short-term rally next week. Here's OJ. I know not many people care about OJ, but there you go. It's under this umbrella now of these Leo markets. Mercury went retrograde in Leo, and so OJ is in that category. So there you go. It made a little low there right on Mercury retrograde. Let's move ahead here now. Here's your beans. Did somewhat similar thing to the corn did, with a little high on the 26th, pull back into the lunar eclipse on the 27th, and kind of worked a little bit higher there in a narrow range. Wheat, it looks the most interesting right now. Of course, the crop report could change everything, but we do have a little bit of a pullback here in the wheat. But we did, going back to the July there, the July dates, we have a high on the 26th, a low on the 27th, and then we had a really nice rally in the wheat from that lunar eclipse low into the high here. We'll be getting to that point here a little later, why that ran up there to the August 1 point. Okay, S&P 500, there we go. There's your dates. That's been working pretty well. We had a high on the, I nailed, in all modesty, I nailed the high there when Mercury turned retrograde on the 26th, 26th. Had a kind of a double top there with Mercury retrograde and the lunar eclipse. And then we'll be getting these other points here in a minute. So let's see, there's, we had a little bit of a cycle, sort of a moderate cycle there with the U.S. cycles, which says you should look at U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and dollar. And there we go. That was for the 26th afternoon. So we're looking at 26th to 27th. That one did not work so well for the bonds, but it did give you a nice point there for the dollar on the 27th for a little bit of a short-term high. Okay, moving on ahead here now. We're going to look at the lunar eclipse, which was in Aquarius. So that says you should look at copper, and then your usual suspects for any kind of full moon, new moon, or financials, grains, and precious metals. And so there's your copper, made right on the lunar eclipse there, made a little bit of a low, and we went up, and we're going to hit that point here in a little bit. I got everything in chronological order. I lined up with the different planetary events. Here's your S&P over here. Now we're going to look at the lunar eclipse, and there's your double top there on the lunar eclipse with the Mercury retrograde. Moving on ahead here now, looking at, we had a lineup between Jupiter and Scorpio and Neptune and Pisces. And the Jupiter in Scorpio says we should look at cocoa. And we had a little bit of a stall there right around the time. And then we had an acceleration to the downside. It was pretty obvious. We were kind of holding that level there and accelerated to the downside. So I usually don't do that, but usually when it's real obvious, I think it's valid if you break that, and then you'd want to stop and reverse. You're probably buying here because it was in a decline, but then you would stop and reverse and go short again once it broke that support. Here's your hogs. Hogs did not cooperate, and so there's a miss there. A red arrow is a miss. Believe it or not, Larry, I'm not right all the time. I know it's shocking. All right, and then crude oil. There you go. This was beautiful. Here, look at that crude oil. That's what we look for. This is a dream trade here, where it goes up, up, up right into our magic time, and makes a lovely top there right on the day. And then we get about a $4 pullback in crude oil. It doesn't get much better than that. Here's your T-bonds. They made a nice low right there on the day. And then we're moving ahead. Mars, I hope you folks got a chance late July there to go out and look at the sky when Mars was near the Earth, perigee, and it was in Aquarius. Aquarius says we should look at copper and possibly stocks. And there's your, right there was a nice top in the copper market. Here's your S&P on July 31 area there. We made a nice little, I think it was like, I think we made a nice, oh, maybe that might have not, oh yeah, the S&P didn't work very well on that. That's that red arrow right there. All right, moving on ahead now, we have the, one of my top things is, you know, of course, the gestation points when the planets go direct or retrograde, but I also like when the planets get to zero latitude, and that was Venus did that on the afternoon of August 1. And that indicates that we should be looking at, one of the markets we should look at is cattle. There's August 1 on the cattle. That was just one day past that low there on the 31st for the cattle. And then you had a really nice rally there in the cattle. Here's your copper. August 1 made a nice low there. Here's your cotton. Made a nice top there right on August 1. And moving on ahead now, we're doing good here. Let's see, August 1. Oh, yeah, here's the more of the Venus zero latitude. Here's your sugar is another market to watch. That was a beautiful low right there, right on August 1. And here's your S&P, August 1. That was a very nice low there on the S&P before moving up into the Uranus when turning retrograde, which I did a sneak peek for when I came on the show for a few minutes on Monday. And we'll be talking about that in a few minutes. Here's wheat. Now, here you go. Here's that wheat rally right to August 1 top when Venus got to zero latitude. And there's your top right there on the 1st of August. All right, moving on ahead. I thought you might see, I haven't showed this in a long time on your show, Larry. Here's my version of the Bradley model and how it worked out. The blue line, I drew that back in July and then overlaid the Dow Jones 10-minute bar chart over that. And I did not adjust the blue line at all. It was that's the original blue line I drew, and then overlaid the black bars. That's a 10-minute Dow Jones. I think you can see it fairly good correlation there, you know. Alrighty, moving on ahead now, we have the, here's cattle. Well, our next thing, I came on Larry's show on for a few minutes on Monday morning and talked about the Uranus was going to turn retrograde in Taurus, but it looks like we're headed for a break, so I guess we'll see you soon. See you after the break.
877-927-6648.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I still think we have our good friend Norm Winsky on the line. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir, Larry.
Tell us what's going to happen next, my friend.
Okay, you might remember I was on your show for a few minutes Monday morning to give a alert that we were that night. That was the 6th. That night that Uranus was turning retrograde in the sign of Taurus, and then we should watch for a change in trend, possibly in cattle, cotton, copper, and stocks. And here's your cattle chart there. You can see that we had a nice top there that was just past the high day there on the 6th. On the night of on the 7th, the night of the 6th, you know, there's the high was actually on the 6th for the cattle. Moving on ahead, here we go. Here, how do you get a really great trade using the system? You need to find a market that is connected to with the cycle you're looking at, the planet you're looking at, and you need it to move to some sort of extreme, rally to a resistance level, decline to a support level. If here's cotton is a good example. What we don't want, and that's a market that's in a narrow range and going sideways. So the cotton did not respond. It's stuck in a narrow sideways range. So I would take a pass on that, but I got the red arrow there to indicate it was not effective for that. Here's your copper. Copper worked well. It made a nice little low there, right when Uranus turned retrograde on the night of the 6th. There we go. Here's your S&P. The high for the S&P this past week was on Tuesday, I believe, on the 7th, and that's now we're as of tonight. These charts are all as of last night, and so now the futures indicate now we're quite a bit lower. So that worked out very well. So moving on ahead here now, what's coming up in the future? We got a solar eclipse this weekend in the sign Leo. And so, this is a special solar eclipse because the moon is that's all. It's a function of the moon. The moon gets in between the Earth and the sun, blocking out the sun. And this moon is at perigee at its closest point. That does not happen where you have all these cycles lined up together very often, possibly only every 20 years. So let's pay attention. We're going to be looking for. We need to see markets get to extreme. Here's the corn indicated by the fact we have a lunar eclipse in Leo, but the corn is just in a narrow range going sideways. Perhaps that crop report will help move get the corn off the dime here and get to some sort of extreme. We need to see a nice move between here and Monday so that you can get a reversal. I think it's ironic that the crop reports coming out I've seen this happen before, where these crop reports come out just ahead of a full moon, new moon, and then about a day later the markets reverse from what the crop report moved, where the crop report moved the market, So there we go. So we can't really say much about the corn right now until the crop report comes out, because right now it's stuck on that narrow range. Here's your gold again. I mentioned that. We're scraping bottom here, so this is pretty interesting. If we can just stay down near the lows here today into the weekend, I think that's a possibly low risk, good setup there for maybe a little short term gold rally. And here's your OJ is kind of going in a narrow range here, kind of hard to say on the OJ. Let's go ahead and look at silver. Pretty much the same kind of deal as the gold, probably. And here's your T-bonds. T-bonds and the dollar look interesting that they both rallied to the top of their resistance level, the top of their trading channel. So you got the bonds up there right. If you draw that line from back from the early July highs and through the mid-July high, you come out. That's where we're at. We just rallied to that line right there. So that's the top of a trading channel, and we're right at a day. Tomorrow is the solar eclipse. Good point. Good time for a reversal. Dollar's doing kind of the same thing, right up against the top of the trading channel. Look for a reversal on these markets by Monday, I would think. And here's your S&P. It's coming down here. And we might, if we can rally to get a nice decline here in the S&P, we might get a bit of a reversal by Monday. Might get a big down day on Friday here, and we might have a reversal by Monday. Oh, and by the way, this weekend is, I have a calendar where I measure the different levels, clusters and levels of energy, the planets. This is my second biggest window of the month here this weekend. Very high energy weekend with the solar eclipse and a whole bunch of other stuff happening. Moving on ahead here now. Here's your copper is scraping bottom here now. So if it holds that low at level there, where the green line is, could be turning up by Monday. Here's that's based on, we're looking at, what happens here this weekend. Mars is now going retrograde and it's going backwards, so it's going to leave Aquarius and enter Capricorn. That's why we're looking at copper, because Aquarius is copper, and it's going to be leaving its copper sign and going into Capricorn, which is coffee, and so you might get some kind of rotation here between coffee and copper and coffee, a change in energy. And also when Mars changes signs, you often get a big 1 day correction in the stock market. So that's often one of those rotation points where all the big money managers shifting around the money from one sector to another when you get Mars changing signs. All righty, here we go. We're going to talk about the free stuff. I have a market letter I've been doing almost 40 years, and I'm going to teach you everything I learned in the last 50 years in a free class. And so just get a hold of me here, and we'll see if we can get you on board for a free class. I may have room. If you contact me today, I might be able to get you on board by early next week. Other than that, we'll have to probably only do it in the early part of the month. So the window is closing on this, so call me right away. And you want to contact me, here we go. There's Norm Winski, Naples, Florida. There's my phone, 239-594-3939. There you can email me, nwinski at embark, EMBARQMAIL.com. Or you can talk to me on Skype at norm.winski. And I'll be happy to take any questions or comments now that anybody might have.
Okay, I have a question from one of our listeners. And that is, if you had to do one particular trade Friday for next week, what would it be?
Well, I got to wait and see where we're at on the close here, and especially with these crop reports coming out and all this stuff. If we get some extreme moves here Friday, then I'd be looking at today. I'd be looking for reversals maybe by Monday morning or Monday. So I'd rather wait. I hope they don't mind, but I'd rather wait. We got one whole more day of trading here, and
we can understand that. Plus, you have Sunday night trading. Do you usually factor in Sunday night trading? That's another question that we're getting.
In terms of the weekend, my weekend window, I add up all the planetary energy over the weekend. But I just assume that most people don't trade on Sunday. So, when you learn how to use my calendar and so forth, it really doesn't, get into. I do have the daily pages where I give you the turning points for Sunday night, but I basically assume most people aren't bothering with Sunday.
Okay, that makes pretty good sense. Now we're going to be taking a break here. When would you like to join us again in 2 more weeks when we have a full moon?
I could do that, or I don't want to be, there's some huge stuff coming up the following weekend too. I could even come earlier if you like, whatever you like.
Well, if you've got something that looks interesting like what we had on Monday, that turned out pretty good. But Norm, as you know, as soon as you're wrong, you're like history and mystery. No, you're always welcome, Norm. But if you have something, please share it with us, okay?
I will do that. Thanks a lot, Larry.
You bet. Norm Winsky of Astro Trend.
Everybody have a great day and call me right away.
Okay. Norm's information is on the site, folks. 877-927-6648. Everybody that wants to go to get a cake, raise their hand.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're having some rockin' and roll action in the NASDAQ. It's jumping around quite a bit, 30, 40 points at a time. S&P is still moving lower. Remember, folks, I think the most important thing that we had happen this week was the chart that I'm going to post next, and that is the S&P 500. We got up to 2869. We're now trading at 2839. That's multiple ABCD patterns up there, and we did have a little bit of a divergence in the IWM. NASDAQ, of course, went up and made new highs. Actually match the high. So whether this is a big turning point or not, still a little bit early. The key to all of this, in my opinion, is the U.S. dollar index. And if we look at it, in the the place of the thanks a lot. Someone's making jokes about anyway, let's take a quick look here at this US dollar. Look at it in the eyes of the euro, folks. Below 114 in the euro, we're trading 114 and change right now. If we close below 114, that is going to be a breakout on the opposite side of this, which would be the US dollar. We're trading at 96.15 right now. U.S. dollar index, well, it's already broken above that parallel channel, which means this could be a major breakout. We're already above, the 50% retracement, and we've pointed this out for several weeks now. This is a high-level consolidation. It can't be ignored, and where you're seeing it in weird currencies like the Iranian rial and the Turkish lira, that's the same thing. And we got the Chinese renminbi is getting close to 6.9, maybe even 7. So this is definitely game gone. So we know how to pay attention to that. The most amazing thing from my perspective is the fact that gold's not in the sewer, because the correlation between the euro and gold is usually 95%, and gold is actually up on the day now, whereas the euro is still headed down. That's an important divergence. So pay attention. We're trading at 12.23 in gold. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless, and a happy birthday tomorrow for Mitchell Luck.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!